Winners finals, the Pokemon Unite Championship Series India. Here we go. These teams, the winner finds themselves in the grand finals and has just a little bit easier road to qualify for the Pokemon World Championship. Zoinks. We're seeing we got some locked in here. Revenant Esports, weighted favorite here. Crowley on a Ninetales, something we don't see too often.
And Alola Ninetales is a very interesting attacker pick. I mean, that special attacker mon definitely deals a fair share of damage, but it is one of the squishiest Pokemon in the entire format. And when going up against a lineup with a Serena and a Decidueye on it, Crowley is going to need to stay frosty on their toes, pun intended.
Absolutely. Respect is probably going to be looking to get into the back line there and take care of Crowley sitting on that Zarina. Not officially locked in, but they got 2 seconds to switch off, and I think that's where they're going to end up.
All right. Yeah, there we go. Finally to get the switch in there. You know and love these rosters fighting over that one sole spot to head to World Championships to represent the region of India. Unfortunately, this team only having that one spot makes this game so important.
Absolutely, because when you get to the grand finals, if you're coming from the losers bracket, you need to win a best of 5 and then win another best of 5. So that's why I said, you know, the path is a little easier if you make it to the grand finals from the winners finals here, and that's what these two teams are going to be squaring off to do.
Now, Revenant Esports is rocking the Dragonite here into the central area, where on the other side, Ascension has sent AVX on the Sylveon. Now, this is sort of two schools of thought here. Omen, a Pokemon that scales extremely well at that level 8 power spike. Dragonite is nigh unstoppable around objectives. However, AVX on the Sylveon, if they hit that level 4, whenever a team fight happens, and they already got this power spike early, they are going to be a gigantic threat.
Absolutely. Omen just working through, getting their experience, but we already see down in the bottom path, all those pips are stuck together here as they're pushing forward. Crowley getting low on HP, so is Exol. They're pushing forward, and that's a little Phantom getting some cheeky scores in here, and they're probably going to be stacking those weights because we know the type of work a Trevenant can do when they get those stacks up.
Yes, Trevenant has a gigantic HP pool, so it can utilize that to get up close and personal and throw some absolute insane damage numbers when up close and personal. Zexal, though, having a large HP bar stat of themselves, can start playing a little far forward. So I think you can see in a very interesting way here is Revenant Esports and Ascension are both operating this 2-1-2. However, it may not seem like it because the central area players are coming down so quickly. AVX a little bit faster on a Sylveon, but still they come down and flank the enemy Pokemon very quickly in this metagame.
Crowley been getting a lot of this early experience. Level 4 about to take over to level 5, kind of keeping parity with the Sylveon, as Crowley is doing great with their spacing. You mentioned they're squishy, but they're not getting too far into the action, just close enough to throw some shots, some pot shots across the bow here as Sylveon Hyper Voice comes through, but it's actually the Blissey that picks it up, and now they're feeling a little strong as Crowley and the Blissey roll down Zexal. They're going to try and hang out and just get some of their own stuff right now.
Crowley's just going to be able to barely outrange the enemy Sylveon of AVX on the other side. They could just stay outside that range of the Hyper Voice while still doing quite a bit of damage here, not to mention getting a little bit of free stacks upon them.
Great movement by Crowley around the rock there to buy some time. The boulder doing a good shield, but now they're caught between a rock and a hard place. Blizzard and AVX taking care of them in short order. Crowley, not long for this world as they're rotating back down to the bottom path. Badshaw just getting their experience, level 5, and Nova pulling up as well.
Now, Ascension's Blizzard there definitely had a great KO, and that was found off the success of taking the second rotation of the central area. So Sylveon only taking one batch of that kind of strategy made famous by Revenant Esports. They've adopted that in a really amazing way, saying that the central area is not just one Pokemon's, but instead they can share it for maximum effect, make sure these Pokemon are hitting their level spikes very quickly. That being said, Blizzard is still level 6. Decidueye evolution has not been found, and Omen is on the edge of 8.
On the edge of 8, and they're going to try to get the big B. They do. There's the big Dragonite ready to put some pressure back on Respect. As Omen, they're content with their level 8. They're going to take the hyperspace highway downstairs and see what they can do. The Dreadnaught's just showing up.
Dreadnaught's just showing up. It's going to be Hyper Beam versus Spirit Shackle in terms of secure against this Dreadnought. Blissey gets a first knockout here. This fight starts very quick.
Great egg bomb and great spacing. That's all going to play forward. Omen all over the objective as we expected. They're working through Dreadnaught's about 10%. That Spear Checkle comes through a little too early, and the Dragonite takes it. Blizzard is getting down low. As Swift to choose forced retreat. Big Unite move takes care of two. Are you kidding me? Draco Meteor Impact taking care of Shaken Planet Earth. As Nova picks up the Bliss Assistance, they're trying to hold it down in the face of Ascension. Respect says, I don't want any of that action. I'm going upstairs. And it looks like the Hoopa and the Decidueye aren't too excited about getting into the mix with the Revenant Esports players down in the bottom path.
A lot of Unite moves used. No goals scored there in that bottom goal zone. We're at 6 minutes and still only 5 AOS energy has been deposited in the entire game so far. So a very low scoring game. Both teams playing a pretty stellar defense that has to be on the back of playing 2-1-2 though. I mean, 2 Pokemon to defend early game means the stacks aren't going to be as plentiful.
Crowley getting caught out and getting shut down as they're KO'd. Nova hanging down back, trying to square off against the back Hoopa. The Rotom is taken, though, by Revenant Esports. It's going straight into the face of Ascension, who's going to be able to take care of this because they have the player advantage up here. But are they going to take the bodies, and is Revenant Esports going to leash this thing in? It looks like no. Ascension taking good control on the top.
There's enough wild Pokemon on the map that going away and spreading out is going to be the favorable choice there. Revenant Esports actually has a level advantage over top of Ascension thanks to that Dreadnought. However, they don't have a Unite move advantage. Ascension only had the one. They used it for the Rotom, but Revenant had also used a ton in that bottom goal zone siege of their own. So not having all available Unite moves meant that a team fight was not the best idea. Great patience by Revenant in that situation.
I'm watching the Hoopas right now. Hoopa for Ascension just ticked over to 8, whereas Revenant Esports Hoopa has been sitting at level 8 for a while. Is Omen going to get out? They're coming down. They kind of zip away here as Nova tries to buy some space. 18 seconds till the Dreadnought. Right now, the Hoopa advantage is to Revenant Esports. Are they going to be able to use that Unite move to pull the whole squad down?
Yes, I'm sure some Hoopa Unite moves are going to bring everybody down to this Dreadnought. Second Dreadnought, such an important objective. Revenant Esports currently has 2 objectives to their name. Ascension needs to get one on the board.
Yep, trying to buy some space is the Sylveon, and buy space indeed. Both Unite moves come out. The Hoopas are unbound. They're going to pull the team through. Swiftachu and Badshar just chucking fists into each other. Big Unite move by the Ascension. Zarina catches out Crowley, but Crowley gets the KO back on the Sylveon regardless. Respect pushing forward. Bliss Assistance is to be found. Omen is so high HP. Are they going to be able to take care of Respect? They do. No respect shown there as Omen is looking crisp on this Dragonite. Swiftachu's going down. Blissey gets a KO on the Trevenant, and this one is all Revenant Esports in that team fight. Woof.
Revenant Esports coming through that portal at a pretty slow pace, but actually paid off so incredibly well for them there. They were able to dodge the Hyperspace Fury from the side of Swiftachu when they put it down right on top of that portal. Great placement, but Revenant actually came through patiently and slowly and weren't caught up in that major stun.
Great support on Crowley as well, able to get a KO before they got KO'd back the other way. Nova double stomping here as the action is kicking off up top. Finally, we see some scores going in, 99-40, and we're going to see how they play this Rotom. Good spacing by the Sylveon, trying to keep Revenant Esports at bay, but they're about that action. Now they've got the presence of mind around the Rotom.
Normally, we say a Rotom headed toward a tier 1 goal zone is an incredibly large threat, but at this late stage in the game, you really want to break a goal zone to open up, to nerf your enemy Hoopa a little bit.
Big time Unite move by the Decidueye buys the space, and Ascension does seal up the Rotom here as the Trevenant's playing very far forward. The Blissy's KO'd. We're working back through, but the Trevenant isn't long for this world as they go for a big push to escape, but they get caught up in the corner of the wall, and Nova closes the door on them, and between Nova and Omen, that Rotom ain't hit.
Both of these teams just respect each other so much there, doobsnax. That Decidueye was frozen in place, had to eject button out, but both Dragonite and Alola Ninetales could have chased, but they knew the team from Ascension were close behind. They played the patient game, and luckily were not KO'd for their efforts, so fantastic work. A little bit of a double reset. Let's see if they both appear to fight. Only Swiftachu is here, and a little caught out quite deep.
Yep, 3-on-1, and Swiftachu's just trying to make this last as quickly as they can. A little egg bomb seals that up, and Revenant Esports got to be happy about that exchange. 2 minutes 38 seconds on the clock as Revenant Esports is putting together a little push here. AVX goes down to Crowley, and they're jumping forward, and they're trying to get all over Blizzard as Blizzard is squishy. Omen tries to find the Hyper Beam mark, and it falls just shy because of that goal zone, boosting the shield and HP just out of range.
Yeah, those shields given by tier 2 are pretty tremendous, especially when facing up against a gigantic burst damage like Hyper Beam. It'll save you in the last possible second. That is massive. Omen here at a level 14 right now, headed into the final 2 minutes. This Dreadnought's going to be tough sledding to try to knock out before the last seconds, but a Hyper Beam from Omen can absolutely do it.
Absolutely do it. Absolutely does. Ascension is in the top. They're going to be able to roll in together. We're going to see what Revenant Esports does as Exel is just getting good sights, but gets hyper voiced very quickly. Bad shot coming through, and they're going to get in action. Are going to pull out the Unite move. We're waiting with bated breath as no action. It starts. Crowley jumps right in actually and gets into the face of a couple. The Hoopas are unbound, and we're watching through as we are watching the Zapdos, but not the action. Finally, the Hoopa kicks up and throws some fists everywhere. Blissey gets a KO. 3 players down for Ascension. We almost missed it if you blinked, and now Revenant Esports has 4 players down, just the Serena left standing. Respect? Question mark. Let's see if they can save this thing for the squad. We're working through Hyper Beam. He lands, and it's Crowley sealing up for Revenant Esports. They're going to be rushing to those goal zones. It's Ducket time, and that Serena is the lone soldier here to try and stop it, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the ticket for them right now.
With a gigantic experience lead like Revenant Esports had, Ascension had a nigh on impossible task in taking away Dreadnought from Revenant in that situation. And I mean, even look at their composition across the board. Lola Ninetales locking people in place, even with their freezing passive. And let's not forget Omen just playing such an amazing game. Max range Hyper Beam to KO a Sylveon in the late stages of this game. 421 to 40. This one's as good as over. Revenant Esports is going up 1-0 in your series.
Nova just baiting Miriam around as well as Respect, just wasting their time, essentially making, hey, look, if you're dealing with me, you're not scoring points. Respect finally gets the KO, but not before Nova got one on their own. Bad shot and Crowley working forward. They're playing so far forward, not worried about defense. Back on offense, baby. 25 seconds left. Let's get as many points and as many KOs as we can. Bad shot. On that note, maybe just blinking out of existence and going to hang out at home.
One interesting thing about the India metagame, and honestly a lot of the Eastern metagame, is the heavy presence of Serena. Seeing it so often, and especially in this game, it's a great counter towards Revenant's Dragonite play. Unfortunately, this time they were playing such close defense, they waited at that home base to use the jump pad to stop Omen's back cap score in the final seconds of the game, but still, the global Unite move that Dragonite has access to brought them all the way to Zapdos pit very quickly, and they were able to turn that fight. Great win at 421 to 40.
Yeah, I mean, what a slide there at the second Dreadnought by Revenant Esports, and once that happened, it was all over.
Amazing game. Revenant Esports up 1-0 in your series, a best of 3 to get towards the grand finals and one step closer to Worlds.
Revenant Esports up a game in the winners final of the Pokemon Unite Championship Series for India. Ascension got a win one on the hop, and they really let Omen kind of get away from them as that Dragonite, once it hit level 8, just started taking over.
Some impressive counterplay methods using the Serena and even the Decidueye to try to outrange the Hyper Beam that Omen was carrying. Still, unfortunately, did not work out for Ascension, so they went back to the drawing board and are actually bringing a Dragonite of their own this time around.
Yeah, it should help seal up a little bit as Blizzard actually switched off the Decidueye onto the Sylveon. Clearly a Pokemon they want in their lineup going into this team, but just saying, hey, look, we need a little bit more secure, and Dragonite's the recipe for success here if Revenant Esports has taught us anything.
No difference in the held items that these Pokemon are bringing either, but only the battle item is going to be a little bit different. One of them is going to be rocking that X attack, the other one operating with a full heal, and when you're talking about objective secures, both of those battle items are fantastic. However, when there's a Serena on the enemy side, I might prefer the full heal to get away from that crazy lockdown that Serena can use with its Unite move.
Serena can be incredibly oppressive, and you know the Serena is going to be looking straight at that Dragonite saying, hey, look, I have my Unite move. That's my priority #1 when we get to these big-time objectives.
Miriam also no longer on the spooky tree, instead operating into a Blissey, which definitely worldwide has seemed to be the popular selection for the defender or tank style of Pokemon when filling out a team composition. I mean, it's got an HP stat, it heals, it displaces, it's everything but a defender in name.
Blizzard working through, they're going to tick over to Sylveon, which means we probably have a laning Dratini right now, and that's going to rotate back through that central area once Blizzard hits the lane and does whatever impact they can get with that early power spike. AVX on the retreat rolls right through their goal zone here as Miriam and company are pretty low, and Revenant Esports playing very far forward.
Blizzard is going to need to find some early success with this, and because, yes, the lane Dratini is not going to achieve very much, Blizzard ended up actually only taking one of the central area Pokemon, so getting that blue buff is going to give them a little bit better hits on wild Pokemon.
I mean, Omen already a dragon are putting the pressure on Blissey and Miriam. They're both forced to retreat. Blizzard is trying to hold it down, but the Chansey goes down. Not even a Blissey quite yet, as Crowley is already level 4. They're about to take over to level 5 here in short order. And AVX and Blizzard are just trying to hold it down, but Revenant Esports is being so locked down, locking them down. Best defense is a strong offense, and they're right in the face of Ascension, not letting them get anywhere near those beats. And they're just going for the bodies, getting the KOs, and getting the points in right now.
Oh, Safeguard Dragon Dance never fails to impress me with a nice little crafty way to get out of damage. Crowley throws in another goal here. Must have heard my criticism on how low scoring of a game it was last time, and instead is trying to change that up with a lot of small micro scores within the early game.
I mean, Revenant Esports now just so far up on the level advantage. They were able to quite literally with 1/3 HP just sit in the opposing goal zone and pressure them and keep them away from the rest of the lane. Great work by Revenant Esports, seeing an opportunity and sitting on it.
Exactly. Now, Batsa, the only person residing in this top lane at this point, as Nova, only a meager Steenie has decided to fight over those central area Corvish. Both of these Dragonites were remaining in lane so long that those contestable wild Pokemon that appear around the Zapdos pit, normally contested by central area players, were given towards these top path players.
I mean, Revenant Esports is pushing the pace here, trying to get as much experience as humanly possible, because there's 30 seconds. Dreadnought is going to be on the map, and they're definitely going to be eyeing that down to keep the pedal on, to keep the gas pedal to the floor here, as they don't want to let Ascension anywhere near their pace car.
Omen's pushing it down with both feet, obviously. Already a Dragonite level 8. The Hyper Beam sweeps through those bees, showcasing how much damage it can do.
I mean, Blizzard didn't even show up for that, right? They're like, oh, those bees are gone. Here we go. Another Hyper Beam coming through. But Crowley's already level 7 as well. Where are they getting this experience from? They're just in the face of Ascension. I mean, they're outpacing the central area player for Ascension as well. What kind of plays can they make? Just a little back cap action as Crowley comes in to play some defense. But look where Revenant Esports is. All over that Dreadnought. They take it on the nose, and Crowley's just on the chase as Blizzard's just retreating through the central area. Ascension does take the Rotom, though, for that exchange.
I was going to say, they are playing from behind, but I actually do think this is the proper play here. Revenant Esports just had way too strong of an early game lead to try to contest it. They learned their lesson last time. Omen has their name written all over that Dreadnought. Would have been a losing effort to try to take it. May as well try to get a Rotom sent towards this top goal zone, and if it would have hit, it definitely would have broken.
Yeah, Ascension with a lot of yellow pips on their side of the map. They want to go ahead and take care of their wild Pokemon as Blizzard is caught out. Omen's on the chase, and let's see if they can roll it down. Blizzard using a Hyper Voice. They're going to try and get back in the mix, but they're so low on HP. The Hoopa pulls up for that support. Can they get it as Blizzard rolls through Respect, buying some time as well? Oh, Omen putting the pressure on Respect. Again, not really inclined and showing any respect here. Hyper Beam finds its mark. Blizzard gets out of there unscathed, surprisingly, but still a player from Ascension going down.
AVX now just rotating, trying to find anybody caught out. Revenant Esports is playing a very far forward offense right now. If AVX can find someone unawares, a Hyper Beam definitely could swing the experience that way. Ascension does have a point lead, but experience-wise, they are starving right now, doobsnax.
The good news is for Ascension, they have a level 8 Hoopa, and Revenant Esports just has a level 8 Hoopa as well. So if there's a contention down here at Dreadnought, at least they're fighting fair in terms of being able to Avengers the squad through. Ascension, though, buying time, needs to get experience and needs to try and catch up, because you can show up to Dreadnought, but if you don't have any levels, you ain't going to win it.
We should have a lot of Unite moves ready to go. Blizzard did use theirs defensively last time that Omen was chasing them down within that top path, so they may not have it completely charged up. Sylveon does have a very quick charging Unite move, though, so potentially they've been able to earn it back already just with wild Pokemon.
Nova trying to hold it down in the face of 3, catches an early Unite move, or uses an early Unite move. You get the Blissescence as well, and this is the turn the tides here. This is the battle they want. Crowley pulls up, but Nova just forced to retreat, and that's a big expenditure of key resources for Revenant Esports in this battle. Ascension's got to be chomping at the bit. Look, if this is our opportunity, this is it, as the fight's already breaking down, and Ascension does take the Dreadnought. Can they leverage into some KOs? They're working through. The Dragonite catches the Nova Unite move, and AVX finally goes down. That's exactly what I was talking about. Zoinks Zarina seeing that Dragonite and saying, one-on-one, let's do this, and Revenant Esports takes care of it before it gets out of control.
Swiftachu, the Hoopa, able to secure that final Dreadnought, so really great play by them, obviously just with a very aggressive Hoopa portal, cutting off Revenant Esports from any kind of offense as they tried to push in.
Respect just getting chewed up again. No respect shown as AVX fires through a hyper beam to try and help the squad, but it's 3-on-1. Blissey comes up with a support, a little safeguard. They're going to push forward. Crowley pretty low on HP. They're working through, and so is Nova as they finally get KO'd by the Dragonite. That's a Unite move back the other way, and I think that was the Snow Globe by the Alolan Ninetales here, and they're going to try and leverage that and push forward, but it's a KO streak of 2 for AVX. Holy smokes. Ascension looking good on the Dragonite, but Omen, holy smokes. You want to talk about counterpunch? How about a Unite move right to the face?
Omen gets a KO streak of 3, and I was so excited, doobsnax, I almost got to cast my first collateral, but unfortunately Blizzard used the Sylveon Unite move to escape in the last seconds. Nova here with the last minute backup to make sure that Omen gets low but not out there. Great team support around that section. Great use of Unite moves, but seriously, Omen is just putting on a masterclass of how to line up hyper beams to KO the maximum amount of Pokemon. I mean, you surround the enemy, you pincer maneuver, sometimes Dragonite can look like they're 2v1ing an enemy team by just themselves.
I mean, their next Dreadnought is rolling right around the corner here as Ascension is just getting their wild Pokemon. Look how far forward Revenant Esports is in the bottom path. They know that that pad is their Ascension's opportunity to get into the mix, and they are literally shutting that down and taking the bees on their side.
Yeah, look at it. Ascension with a pretty mad rush towards top path, but Axel right now, as Revenant Esports is playing so far forward, Betsa and them are just getting little micro scores in. Micro score, that's a 40-point in for Hoopa. That is a ton of points going towards that goal zone. It's pretty huge.
Yeah, well, the good news is they're getting KO'd here, but at least they'll be back up for the Zapdos. Not so much for the Dreadnought. If Revenant Esports wants it, I think they have the impetus to go take it. As Respect gets KO'd, now it's Crowley heating up, the Ice-type Pokemon, melting it down a little bit in the face of their opponent, looking good. Revenant Esports putting a lot of pressure on.
Omen yet again, level 14. This Dragonite definitely becomes the stuff of legend when it hits that huge power spike there. I mean, 12, 13, 14, all massive stat increases for Dragonite in these final sections of the game. We're looking at 3 seconds right now. Revenant Esports has complete control of this Zapdos pit. Ascension has a wall to bust through.
Yeah, they're coming in a little scattered here, and Omen's already ripping the Zapdos. They know what they want. Revenant Esports is just going to try and bubble out Ascension. We're trying to find their mark. AVX comes through the Unite move, but they're so low, they're going to get KO'd. Hoopa Unite coming out the other way. One player down for Ascension. They're going to see if they can bring some parity, but no, they're falling like dominoes. Swift to choose the next one on the chopping block. They're getting pushed out. Another KO for the Hoopa. 3 players down for Ascension. Blizzard trying to do their best with that hyper voice, but they are a mile away. Nobody's hearing that note as Revenant Esports is all over the Zapdos. Prayer play by Blizzard falls a bit shy. They get KO'd by Crowley. Pack her up, pack it in. Revenant Esports about to go up 2-0 and punch their ticket to the grand final.
Yeah, as long as all these scores go in, but it's looking pretty clean. Revenant with an extremely dominant team fight in these final moments. Respect to the hopeful defense, but when your goal zone is completely defenseless, it is nigh on impossible to shut down the enemy team. A amazing team fight there, and what I really want to spotlight is Revenant's ability to focus fire. Every time Ascension was caught out even a little bit, they used a Blissey Unite just to get their Dragonite out, but they were able to surround the Dragonite, stun lock them in position so they didn't get any benefit of that Blissey Unite and still found the knockout. So Revenant, incredible focus fire, huge teamwork, and it's paying off in a match win.
Yeah, I mean, Crowley at the helm of this Revenant Esports squad, and you better believe that they've got them bucked up and moving in the same direction, and they looked really good. Not only were they there on time in the Zapdos pit, they beat the absolute brakes off of any player of Ascension that was willing to step out of the tall grass.
Even a Hoopa Unite move. Batso bringing down the crowd to get even more scores in. Talking about pad the stats, doobsnax, UCS tournament, the one and only for India. You got to make it look good.
Revenant Esports really putting a stamp on this one, exclamation point, saying Ascension, if you want a piece of the action, you got to do it through the losers bracket now. It's Revenant Esports sitting on top, waiting in the grand finals. Whoa. Up 2-0, taking it down too easy. They looked good.
Revenant Esports looking like the best in the region for a reason. They deserve their spot in the grand finals. I cannot disagree, doobsnax.